You can go to the American TESOL site, or you can go to this bit.ly address, and that will also give you the American TESOL site, but it'll give you all the links, the web recordings, and everything. So this is case sensitive, so you do have to do everything in caps. As teachers, it's very stressful. Not only do you have to deal with all the paperwork, you have to deal with all the research. Sometimes we're going to school as well. I remember I was doing my master's. We have to have continuing education credits for our institution every year. A lot of times we have to do grading. We do after-school tutoring. So it's very stressful beyond the hours that we put into it. Then we go home, and a lot of us cook or we clean, and we have to fit all of this. It's very much like, who has the time? Nobody has the time. And also, if you're a teacher online, you're always connected, and you're tweeting or Facebooking, and you're sharing links and you're bookmarking links, and you just think, oh my gosh, it's all so overwhelming. So I want to give you some tips today on how to have some help, okay? So if you're screaming, help me, this is the webinar. This webinar, even though it takes about 30 minutes, these webinars, they just take 30 minutes, will save you hours of time, I promise, okay? The web can be your friend, and the web can be Zen. There are different websites out there, and there are different tricks that you can do that I have found, because my job is always being online. I have to tweet and Facebook. I do this for a lot of companies, and then I do about 5 to 10 presentations a week. So for me, I have to have these time-saving devices. Not only that, but I have to do cooking and cleaning and all of these things as well, and take care of my very cute little pug. So in order to do that, when I do choose different types of web tools, these are the types of web tools I'm looking for. And I think that's one of the important parts. There's thousands and thousands of great web tools out there. But when I'm particularly choosing a web tool, and this even goes as far as for sharing on social media, or if I'm using for a web tool, even with my students, if I'm using a web tool in general, these are the things that I look for. These are my standards. My standards is, it has to have a bookmarklet. It has to be mobile friendly. It has to be user friendly. It has to sync, and it has to have extensions. Now you might say, what is all of this? Well, I'll explain it to you. I'll show you in a little bit what a bookmarklet is. But mobile friendly, what that means is that, for example, many of the websites that you have out there, they're going to be on your mobile device. And I'm connected. I have 4G at the moment, and it saves me so much time, because when I'm waiting at the bus, I'm waiting to catch the bus, if I'm on the subway, if I'm on the bus, when I'm at the airport, anywhere that I'm at, I want to be connected, because we spend a lot, researchers found that a lot of us spend so much time waiting, and that while we're waiting, we can actually produce and do things. We can tweet, we can bookmark, we can see things offline, we can even access this particular webinar through our mobile device. There's a free app for that. It's called the Adobe Connect app. So I'll show you different types of apps, but at the same time, I want it to be on the computer, because I want my students to have access to it. But I sometimes just find it's easier to be on my laptop and actually be able to do these things. So I look for both, that it's a web application, a free one, and I'll show you some of those that are really good. And then syncing. Syncing means that one of the cool things, I have an iPad and I have an iPod too. When I download, maybe, how many of you have an iPad or an iPod or an iPhone? Like 2 iDevices. Then you might notice with your most recent one, when you download something on for example, your iPad, then your iPhone will automatically get that app as well. Do you notice that? That as soon as you download something from the App Store here, it's going to get on your, let me find my iPod really quick. But it downloads it at the same time, exactly the iCloud that Mary's talking about. That's what syncing is. Syncing means that when I put it on here, there are websites that on my computer, it'll automatically, whatever I add to my app or my iPhone or my iPod, It'll automatically update on my computer on anything that has that application on it. So it saves a lot of time because it means that I don't have to update constantly. It does it automatically. I don't even have to tell it to do this. It'll just automatically do it for me. So that saves tons and tons of time. I want to make sure it's user friendly because especially if I'm sharing with an audience, my audience has to have access to it. So if they wouldn't access it, then it's a waste of time because nobody's going to use it except for me. A lot of times we want to share. Extensions and bookmarklets. This has to deal with your web browser. So you may use a web browser like Firefox, Chrome, Internet Explorer, Safari. It doesn't matter which one, but make sure that whatever web tool you use has these particular device features in it. Now, not every web tool has that, so unfortunately you can't always do that, but a lot of them do, and I'll share with you some websites that actually do that. Another thing that I do is I connect with my mobile device. I'm always on this all the time, and it's just easy to do certain things with it. Now, there are certain things that I recommend. There are certain apps that I recommend. Ecofont. Ecofont is fantastic. Now, you might say, why Ecofont, Shelley? Because Ecofont, it doesn't come, unfortunately, on my Android, which really upsets me. But one of the things, the reason why I use it, I use Ecofont and I use HootSuite. That's what I recommend for mobile devices, especially if you have iPad or iPod. I'll show you why. But Ecofont, because of this feature, and I don't know, maybe some of you know, first of all, it's a free app. But one of the things that I really like about Ecofont, so if you're a tweeter or something like that, this is what Ecofont is good for. Okay, so I have my mentions, right? And let's say I want to thank a series of people with my mentions. So let me see if you can kind of see that. Okay, so I have all these people, and I want to thank them, or I want to follow Friday them and stuff like that. Ecofont is the only one I know that I can actually press. Here, I'm going to press on Noel, and then what I'll do is I'll just click that little thing, and it does everybody. But in the next line, so after Noel, so I click Noel, she's the first one there. Now here's Ed Russell or something. Okay, now I'm going to reply to him too. And so it has her name and it has Ed Russell's name on there. And then it'll have Ella and Bruno and everybody. So it's the only one that saves every single person on there. That's why I use Ecofont. No other free app for Twitter does any of that. So that's why I use it. I love the way HootSuite looks on the iPad. And I'll show you that in just a second. But these are some of the websites that I use in the web tools and the reason that I use them. And they save me so much time. Because to have to go and write out everybody's Twitter name is just takes so much time. Bookmarklet. What's the difference between Bookmarklet and extension? Well, I'll show you. Bookmarklet is usually at the top of your browser. So this is actually my internet. This is the interface I use to browse the web, okay? Yes, Bruno, I know what you mean by the official Twitter app, but it doesn't do that. That's why I get so upset with the official Twitter app. So here, you can see this is what a bookmarklet is. If you go to, you put search, if you go to any of the websites you use, for example, Pinterest. Pinterest is a great example, and I'll share with you Pinterest in a little bit. But the great thing about Pinterest is, look, right here it has this bookmarklet. That's my Pinterest bookmarklet. It goes to the top of my web browser. So anytime that I click that, I'll show you something that it does is really cool. Now on the sidebar, so in the side after my web address, sometimes they'll become an extension. So what that means is it's a part of your browser. Like for example, Firefox has extensions, Safari has extensions, and so does Chrome. That's why I use all of them. But with Pinterest, so let's go back to Pin. So let's say I went to my website, Teacher Bootcamp, okay? And I went ahead and I went to this one that talks about the different bookmarklets, including Pinterest. So you can see that site here. And if you don't know Pinterest, it's this incredible bookmarking tool there. So here we go. So this is the web that I wanted to bookmark. In other words, I wanted it online and I want to save it for later. So I click on Pin. When I click on that little thing on my bar, it's always, and these are the ones that I use the most, then what it does is it goes to that, it picks up any of the visuals, and I just choose which one, and then in 2 seconds it takes me to bookmark this. So this is why I really like anything with the bookmarklet. It takes me seconds. I don't have to go to the website. I don't have to copy this entire URL and put it inside the website. All I got to do is click this every time I want one, and all of a sudden I see my bookmarklets in there. It takes seconds. So that's why I say have a bookmarklet or an extension, because that's what it does. Another thing to think about is, does your tool have multiple platforms? What do I mean by that? Okay, so here's my mobile device. It has Tweetdeck. Here's my laptop. It has Tweetdeck. Here's a screen online. It has Tweetdeck. So can it go in multiple platforms? And if it does, then this is very, very useful. You don't want a device to use a web tool that only is on your phone. You don't want one that's only accessible through the web, because there's so many free ones that are out there. Yes, this was at Bernie's. And what it does is whatever's on here is on here in the same program. So that's why I like those particular types of tools. Now I'm going to share with you the different types of tools. These are the ones I recommend, and you can take a screenshot, or I'll take a screenshot, or I'll upload this later on SlideShare, so you'll have all of these. But this is how I organize my bookmarks, and these are the tools I recommend that fit this criteria of what I think makes an effective web tool. Diigo, Posterous, Delicious, Evernote, Chrome, Google, anything, but Google Drive is what I was going for. Twitter, Scoopit, Pinterest, Live Binders, EduClip, Pearl Trees, and 19 Pencils. All of these are fantastic sites. They help you organize things. They help you create an online profile. See, I just messed up my hair. My hair is always, sorry about that, guys. And so all of these meet the criteria. There are multiple platforms. They have free apps, and you can use them on the web. They're very user-friendly. They're fantastic. So here we go. Here's Tweetdeck. Why do I use Tweetdeck? Well, Tweetdeck and HootSuite are both the browsers that I use. I think that if I would have started using HootSuite to begin with, that's all I would use. But I already downloaded Tweetdeck, so I use it. How does it save you time? When I want to post anything, I can post it on my Twitter. I can post it on my company's Twitter, the consultancy. That's who I work for. And I can also post it on our Facebook pages. I can post it on my LinkedIn. Just one time I type in whatever I want to type. Hello, everyone. How are you today? Goes to my Facebook, Twitter, everything all at once. So that's why I love TweetDeck. It has a lot of features. You can reply to everyone. You can add an automatic hashtag. You can add the same hashtag. So when you're in a chat like EdChat or something like that, then all you have to do is you have to go ahead and it'll automatically add it for you. So all you do is your update. So you can update later. Let's say that I'm in New York and I'm flying overseas, and a lot of times you'll say, hey, Shelly is in a plane in New York. How is Shelly tweeting this? Well, the way I tweet is I can schedule my tweet for later. All of this is absolutely free, by the way. HootSuite. HootSuite is fantastic. I love HootSuite. HootSuite does the exact same thing as TweetDeck, but the app for the Android and for the iPad and iPhone are absolutely fantastic. They're free for all, and I like it a lot better than I actually like TweetDeck. So that's what I'm saying. If I had had a choice to begin with and I hadn't been doing all of this, yes, I do schedule my tweets from TweetDeck. You can do it from HootSuite as well. So this is what HootSuite looks like on the iPad, just to give you an idea. So I have my company account here. I have my account on the bottom. It's a little difficult to see. Sorry about that. And then I'm going to show you the home feed. So this is what I love the most about it. You see how it does columns on my iPad. TweetDeck doesn't do that, but HootSuite does. I love it. I love it that it does this. It does the same exact things as I just mentioned with TweetDeck. But I'm going to show you what it does on the phone, because you're going to say, well, and it's light, and I like the light color. So I have it for my Android as well, and that's what it looks like on the Android. The same thing. It has my Twitter, the consultancy, so I can do both the company as well. I'm going to do the home feed. So this is my home feed there. And if I scroll, what did I do there? Sorry, I didn't scroll correctly. But I do it here. And then all I got to do is I got to scroll at the bottom. Sorry, my finger's too big. And then it does the other one. See? I just scroll, and every time I scroll at the bottom, it goes to the next column. So I have my direct messages with the swipe. I have the I have direct messages with the swipe. I have mentions at a swipe. I have sent at a swipe, like my tweet. I have everything there. All the columns just sweep, 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 sweep. And it's so easy to see. You can reply to everyone. You can do everything. So that's why I absolutely love it. I think HootSuite is a much better application than Tweetdeck because it looks better. It's easier to tweet with. It just really just helps with everything. And it's the only one that I found that has the columns. And it's great on all devices. Another thing that I do, you might say, oh, Shelly tweets my blog faster than I tweet it. Or you might see that I average about 67 tweets a day. I know that's a lot, right? But they're great information. And how do I do that? Well, I'm not always online. I can't be tweeting 67 times a day. There's certain blogs and websites that I always go to that I love. So one of the things that I ever do, no, I never get blocked. You would think I do, but I don't. Is this fantastic website. It's called Twitter Feed. It's absolutely free. And what it does is all I have to do is enter an RSS feed. What that means is that all the websites you go to will have something like that little bird, or it'll, well, I'll show you with an RSS. If you go to any website, most of them, I would say 90% of them have an RSS feed. So that's twitterfeed.com. It's absolutely free. Okay, this is an RSS feed. That's the icon. It'll say RSS. When you click that, you can get the RSS address. It'll usually say something like HTTP feed or something like that. And then what happens is, once you get that, you just copy and paste into your Twitter. Yes, it's only for computers, unfortunately. And what it does is it'll let you post that anytime that site is updated. It'll automatically, like your blog, every time you finish writing your blog, it'll automatically share it on Facebook, Twitter, I think LinkedIn as well, just automatically. I think even Google+. So it'll share it automatically as soon as you do it, as soon as you update. Let's say you love CNN sports, right? And you're always tweeting from there anyway. You're always sharing the information. Well, then I can even put CNN sports. And every time they update a score or anything like that, it'll automatically show in all my feeds, wherever I put it. The great thing is you can add hashtags that'll automatically be with it. So a lot of times I'll share something. Well, you have to trust that source. I use it for a lot of teacher blogs that I already read. The first year that I was on Twitter, I did nothing but read blogs. I always have to update it, though, because people, when they change their feeds, then it doesn't, you have to update it every time they change their feed. So if they change their blog, then, well, you don't get it anymore. But there are some sites like Mashable. Mashable has great stuff. I trust Mashable. They're a great source, Discovery Education. There are a lot of websites out there that as soon, I already read that, then I have time to read. I can have conversations on Twitter, and I don't have to worry about sharing all these resources. Evernote.com. Evernote is so fantastic. It's on your computer. It's on the web. So it's also software on the computer, and that's really, really important. What I mean by that, a lot of websites are doing that as well. This is why it's important that it's software on the computer. And what do you mean by that, Shelly? Well, what I mean by that is that it's on the web, but let's say that you want some stuff and you don't want it necessarily, you need it offline, you need it off the computer. So this is a software as well. So you can download it as a software. Dropbox is like that, Google Drive. They can also be softwares on your computers. So what it means is that you can have this information, everything like your bookmarklets and all of that, and it's on your computer. Let's say I'm in the airplane and I don't have access to the internet. Well, then I can, all the information on there that's automatically synced when I get online, is automatically on my computer. I don't have to download it or anything. I don't have to take screenshots. I can work offline effectively from my computer without the internet. It's also an app for the iPad or any type of tablet. For Evernote, Evernote is also for iPad, and it's also for your Android, your iPhone, your BlackBerry, and it's also on the web. What else does Evernote do? Well, that's not even the cool part. You think that's cool. What's really great about Evernote? Evernote lets me take pictures. I can take pictures of website, and it makes any of the text, it has OCR recognition. What that means is that I'll take any, this is a screenshot, right? It'll take the words off of the picture, and it'll make it searchable terms and keywords. So let's say you take hundreds of pictures of websites, or let's say you need a shopping list and you're like, well, or let's say you're counting calories and you take a picture of the back of the can. So I have, okay, so here I want to know my Red Bull calories, right? Okay, so I would take a picture of it with my phone. And then it makes all of those words searchable. So like later, if I want to upload those or count those calories, I can do it. It just grabs it. And let's say that there was hundreds of pictures. I just search Red Bull, and if Red Bull was in there, it finds it for me just by the picture. You can upload it to your blog. You can tag things. You can make it to where it automatically emails a group. So anything that you take a picture or you take notes of, it has text. You can record audio. You can search the audio. You can make videos. It does everything, absolutely everything. And it makes it offline, and it automatically syncs on your iPad, computer, and online. Wherever you go, you'll have access to these things. Google Drive does the same thing. It's a software, and it's so fantastic. It's storage. You get about, I don't know, 10 gigabytes or something. And you can work on documents all together. It's Google Docs, so if you have the Google Docs. And the great thing is when I checked my Android, it does this for Android, but as soon as I checked, I didn't even have to download the app. The app was already on there. I don't know how it did it, but as soon as I signed up for Google Drive, which was just changing my Google Docs to Google Drive, it automatically downloaded a free app on my on my Droid. So I think that's really cool. You can check your iPhone and see if it does that if you're on there. It's absolutely free. It's a cloud. It stores your presentations, your web, your Word documents, your spreadsheets, everything on the cloud. So you have access everywhere you go, and it automatically offlines it as well, which I find really fantastic. So if I'm working now, I hardly use Microsoft Word. I just do things on Google Docs, and you have a Google document like Word. You also have something that's like PowerPoint. You also have something that's like Excel. So I just work on those. I work on them offline, and then as soon as I get online, it syncs it so that way it saves it. So it's even on the web as well. And when I'm working on the web, it automatically saves it offline too. Like I don't have to redo that. It's really great. You can work on more than one person. If I did a Google Doc right now, it would automatically save on Drive. It would just be there, and all of us would have our notes of this session there. Posterous is fantastic. It's the easiest way to blog. So if you haven't started a blog yet and you say, I don't have any time to blog, you can do it with Posterous. I wish I would have learned about this before I did my platform. Well, now I'm kind of stuck with my blog, which is a great blog, by the way. But if I had Posterous, it saves me so much time. I have 10 Posterous collaborative sites. It's so fantastic, because all you have to do with Posterous is send yourself an email. That's it. So this is what I do. For example, I go to my iPad, but I can also do it on my Android, or I can do it like that. Posterous, when you sign up, it gives you a special email address. So what I do is I just go here, I go to mail, I click the mail icon, the email, and then I just begin typing. I compose it. So I'm composing it, and then I just put to shellyterrell@posterous.com, because that's one of my Posterous. And then I just, I don't know, type whatever. Why am I showing you this? This is why, because I don't have to have the internet to do this. What the smart devices does is it automatically saves a draft. So when you go online, it automatically posts it to your Posterous. If I attach a picture, that goes on the post. If I attach a video, it goes on the post. If I attach audio, it automatically goes on the post. Whatever I attach, it goes on the post. If I include a YouTube address, I don't even have to embed the video. It automatically embeds the video for me. All I do is I just need to know how to send an email to, and that's it. And then it posts. It even allows you to tag. So it's really, really fantastic. That's how I take conference notes now. I just send an email to my Posterous, and all my notes are online for everyone to share. If I share that email address with my students, they can post and that blog as well. So it's a great way to have a class website, a class blog. They can turn in their assignments that way. I have them do it. It's a great portfolio as well. I love Posterous. I use it for everything, for all my courses, all my training now. I love it. It's absolutely fantastic, and it has pretty templates, and it's absolutely beautiful. It has a web app. It also has iPad app, Android app, iPhone app. Next thing I use is Diigo. Diigo has an app for everything. It's a little bit difficult to do it, but it's okay. It's worth the time. Why do I prefer Diigo? Diigo lets you do all your bookmarks, okay? You can have access anytime you're online. You have access to your bookmarks. But the great thing about Diigo is it'll let you sync all your bookmarks that you have from your computer. So anything you've already bookmarked that's on your computer, when you click the bookmark, Diigo will automatically pick it up. It doesn't matter. It lets you highlight sites. It lets you take notes. It's just fantastic. And the other thing about it is it will also, it'll let you read it later. It'll offline some of your sites as well. But the other thing is if you put a certain tag to it, so you can add tags like this one I put portfolio, presentation, tool, okay? I can share it to a group, excuse me, but here are my tags. I have ed tech here. It's one of my tags. What I can do is I can schedule Diigo for every week. Anything that's with an ed tech site will automatically post all of those on my blog. So every week I can have, you see people that say science links of the week or my favorite links of the week. All they do is on Diigo, they tag it, and it's an automatic blog post. A blog post you don't have to write. It just does it for you. That's what Diigo does. And all of this is absolutely free. So if you're a blogger, this is something really great to do. Now, I don't necessarily do this with mine all the time. The only reason why is because sometimes it adds their own code and stuff like that. And so that's why I haven't done it yet. But it's definitely, and I don't use one of the tags as enough. But if you're a teacher always doing from the same tag, then you can use that. Yeah, it's great, Dina. You should check it out. It's really fantastic. It also lets you sync your delicious as well. It also works with Twitter. Anytime I set up my Diigo to anytime I favorite a website, it automatically bookmarks that. So anytime you see me favorite, I have 500 favorites on Twitter. The reason why is because they all go to my Diigo website and any tag associated with it. So let's say somebody tweets, oh, the 221 planets, Edudemic just did that, 221 planets that we haven't heard of, and the hashtag is science, then that on my Diigo will automatically post. It'll say 221 websites, infographic, or whatever was on the tweet, and then it'll automatically be tagged under the science. So if I retweet something, I just add the hashtags, the tags that I want on it, like web tool or whatever, infographic, something like that, and I favorite it, it automatically goes to my Diigo. It's fantastic. That's why I love Diigo, because it bookmarks smart, and it's so quick. So everything I share on Twitter automatically is bookmarked in Diigo. Okay, another great site is Prezi. Why am I saying Prezi? Well, if you can use it, I can't use it in this platform. I have to use Adobe. Makes it to where on webinars you can't really use it. But the great thing about Prezi is this. It saves you time this way, because what it is it's automatically online, but you can save it offline, your Prezi presentation. So when I present these webinars, I have to take 2 steps to share it online. the first step is I have to upload it here. I create it on my PowerPoint, on and on and on. I have to look for a lot of images and things like that, and it takes a lot of time to do it. And so after I do that, then I have to go and I have to upload it to SlideShare. That's 2 steps. It takes a lot of time to do this, trust me. But Prezi, you don't have to do that. If you're doing a presentation, a lot of times I do my keynotes and stuff on Prezi. Prezi has free apps. PowerPoint doesn't have a free app. Anytime I create it, it's automatically on. It's already posted. Nobody has to, and the links are embeddable. If you look at my links on my SlideShare, they're not, you can't click on the links and you can't go there. But if I did this on Prezi, all the links would be there. And I don't have to do that second step of uploading it online. Plus, it looks absolutely beautiful. I don't have to use as many images. Prezi has gotten so great now. At the beginning, it had so many kinks, but not anymore. It saves me so much time. So then when I'm sharing it, and it's embeddable, so then I just embed that in my blog. It saves so much time. So that's why I recommend it. Chrome. Chrome is the type of browser that I've been using. One of the reasons I use Chrome is because it does this. It's very easy to share. It shows all the apps. If I show whatever apps that I pick, this is an extension. So I'm always using, I have a Gmail, it clicks on it, the calendar, all of these things, Tweetdeck, it's all there. World Time Buddy. Okay, and then it does tabs as well. Look at my beautiful cloud background. It lets me use this. The great thing about Chrome is I can use anybody's computer, and I travel a lot. I always have to use computers at internet cafes and things like that. All I have to do is sign into my Chrome, and it automatically shows my background, my bookmarklets, my extensions. It even shows all the apps that I use, and it shows the websites that I've used the most. It puts little thumbnails. All I do is click and it automatically goes to my Gmail. It clicks and it automatically goes to my Facebook. It's a browser that I can connect to anywhere in the world in any computer, and it shows up with all my saved settings. And that's why I love Chrome. It just saves me so much time when I have to use other people's computers. Another thing, oh, and that's about it. But before I go, I'll share with you some other tips and tricks. These are really great things to use and do, and I hope they really help you. If you need more, then you can go to shellytarot@gmail.com and then bit.ly ELT links. I'm going to share with you a few posts that I think are really great. I showed Mike Harrison how to use Twitter feed a long time ago, and he loves it. I've won a lot of people to it. So here is a great Twitter feed tutorial that Mike Harrison has put out for you. So it's a really great thing. You can find more bookmarking tools that I didn't talk about, like Pinterest, EduClips. EduClips is a new one made by a teacher, and it's going to have a bookmarklet and all these free apps as well. But the other thing, I'm going to share with you these websites, but you can also find these websites if you go to the bit.ly address. Another few tips that are not on here, somebody said that they procrastinate all the time. I use Google Calendar. I love Google Calendar. Google Calendar is a great tool to use. I use Google everything. I think Google is just so smart. But one of the great things about Google is if I go to my Google Calendar, you can text yourself little reminders. You can send yourself daily reminders, and that's what I do. If you look at it, here's my reminder. It comes on every day. It's my to-do list, but I also have one that says, they're little notes to myself. It says, exercise and beauty. You're a gem, baby girl, so start treating yourself like one. I send myself Google reminders so that way I can exercise. I can say whatever I want. You can get these texts to you as well, so they'll come text as well. It works offline. So even if I'm not connected to the internet, it always comes up. It's Google Calendar offlines it already, and it reminds me. It says, oh, you have to do this project with the consultancy. Oh, you have your webinar. I mean, I have it, everything to do. The other thing is that it'll also send homework reminders to your students. You can even, if you're at a place where they have phones and stuff, it'll automatically text the homework that you put on the calendar to the parents, and it'll automatically put it to whatever text or calendar websites out there that they have. So if they're on Google Calendar, they'll automatically get the homework every single day. They'll see what test date it is. They'll be able to just have reminders for everything. So Google Calendar is one. Another thing, if you listen to music, I recently got into a great platform. How many of you are familiar with Shazam? Shazam I love because Shazam, it listens to any song when I'm driving on the radio, and I just Shazam it. It listens to the song, and then it automatically will find out what the song is. It's fantastic. I love it. Yes, I love it too. I don't know if you know this feature about Shazam, but if you get into a free website like Spotify. I recently started using Spotify. It doesn't work in every country. It doesn't work in Germany. That's why I didn't use it before. But the great thing is it's a way to make a music playlist. So I'll go ahead and there are free Spotifys. There's a free version of Spotify, and you can have the other version for free for 30 days and 10 days. So it's fantastic. So I do Spotify, and that's where I make my music playlist. Shazam has a feature here. And I don't know if you do this, but a friend asked me the other day, they said, oh my gosh, that's such a useful website. So then what I do is after I get it, so here I recently had one by the Kaiser Chiefs. Every Day I Love You Less and Less. And you'll see the Spotify. So when you click on Spotify, play in Spotify, okay, it'll automatically open and play on your Spotify free app, your free Spotify app, and then you can add it to your playlist from there. So Spotify with Shazam is a great way to make a very fast music playlist. It's the only one that I know that does it together. It syncs it together, and then you can have it. So that's another kind of tip and tool. The other thing that I've recently done to help when I'm creating PowerPoints, and I have to, stick with simple formats, stick with simple templates. I use Arial, I use Arial format and Futura for the headers, and keeping it simple means that I can just upload it and the format's not going to get all crazy and wonky on me when I upload it to SlideShare. So hopefully these tips and tricks have helped you. They help you organize things, and they get you to do faster things and have more time for yourself, so that way you can go and enjoy this summer. Thank you so much for coming, and if you have any tips or tricks or any websites out there, just let me know. And I will see you next week, and next month I will see you from Tel Aviv, so that should be very